We're going to talk about how you can both build muscle and burn more calories while you're doing it. The thing that's really cool is all the stuff I'm going to be telling you about in today's training here. I applied it this last year and it allowed me to gain 10 pounds of muscle. Truthfully, I wasn't even really trying to build any muscle, which is insane because a lot of times you have people that are like, oh, I'm going to bulk and then I'm going to cut. And I conducted a lot of research when I was in college for this. And honestly, 9 times out of 10, when people would bulk, what happens is they're looking at the scale. They're like, yeah, I'm gaining weight, but they're just gaining fat. And then after a couple months of them, quote unquote, bulking, what really ended up happening is they put on 20 pounds of fat and they gained like 5 pounds of muscle. And then when they go on their cut, when all was said and done during that time frame, they only gained 1 pound of muscle because they lost a lot of muscle when they were so drastically cutting to get ready for the beach or the summer, whatever it was. So with this method, you're going to be gaining muscle, which is going to help to boost your metabolism, which means you're going to be burning more calories naturally. And if you're worried of, Alec, I don't want to look too bulky, don't worry. It's not going to happen by accident. You want to have lean muscle mass. I think after the age of 30, you start to lose muscle tissue just naturally. You know, if you don't use it, you lose it. So by doing this training, by implementing these things, you'll be able to both preserve muscle mass and build a little muscle as well. Get a little bit stronger, feel a little bit healthier and happier. Because when you're growing, you're feeling better. Like I was saying before, more muscle means burning more calories. You could think of it like a car. The bigger the engine is in the car, the more gas it's going to use. But the body, it doesn't want to use a lot of calories, doesn't want to burn a lot of calories. So by doing the nutrition and everything properly, you're able to give the body what it needs so that it's not freaking out and it's not going to slow your metabolism down. Because what can happen is if you're exercising and you're not fueling the body properly, the breakdown of the muscle tissue triggers a hormonal response, which tells your body, hey, we got to store more fat. And it's like, what the heck? I'm exercising. I don't want to store fat, but the body doesn't care. It wants to be like this car. If you go into your car, you turn it on and you see the fuel gauge just start to go down, you would turn the car off, you'd take the keys out and you'd be like, what the hell is happening? And the body's thinking the same thing. It doesn't care if you want to look snatched for the summer. It's thinking about how can we preserve energy. So having the muscle, being able to feed it properly, all very important stuff. But we already discussed the nutrition things in previous trainings. More muscle means burning more calories. But when it comes to building muscle, these are the 2 things that I found that people mess up on the most. It's just these 2 things. I will go into the gym and I will see people lifting big to get big. And then I see them doing like really weird exercises. Like, I don't even know what, they're doing like different Olympic level style of training, like Olympic lifts, including like snatch and clean, deadlifts, squats, overhead press. And you might be thinking like, well, dude, yeah, you got to squat, you got to deadlift, you got to do all these things. Not necessarily. You see, when it comes to the level of intensity, if you're lifting big to get big, what ends up happening is the more weight that you are using, the more muscles your body is recruiting. And you might be thinking like, well, isn't that a good thing? More muscle, more calories. Well, if you want to begin to build muscle so that it starts burning more calories, you don't want to recruit a whole bunch of different muscle groups. Because when it does that, all it does is it takes the focus away from the muscle that you're trying to train and it kind of divvies it out to all the other muscle groups. You could think of it like if a business gets like a big lump sum of money, it's not all going to the CEO. It's going to the marketing team. It's going to the CFO. It's going to the HR. It's going to the employees. Like, it makes sense. That's what has to happen when a company gets money. But this big lump sum begins to be trickled out to all these different people. If a business makes $1 million, the CEO is not pocketing $1 million. There's all these different expenses and things. So if you wanted to build your chest, for example, or if you want to get bigger shoulders, you want to do exercises that are going to isolate that specific muscle. Because when you do that, the body is only focused on building that muscle. Because when it's spread out, the body can only do so much in such a short period of time to recover. So if you do a very, very intense exercise, you're hitting all the muscle groups of the body has about like 24 to 48 hours to recover and be better than where it was before. So if you think of it like a deadline, if the body's trying to repair the shoulder and the tricep and the bicep and the forearms and the chest and the back and the quads and the hamstrings and the calf, it's like, that's a lot of muscles. So in that 48-hour period, if you caused like this much damage and it only recovers this much, you now reached a new baseline and you've actually lost the gains. But if the body has all this potential to repair itself and you only focused just on the chest, just like on this little inner part right here, or just the upper chest, it has that 48 hours to grow and heal and recover just that area. So you start seeing some gains. If I'm doing shoulders and I want to grow the lateral side of my shoulder, I'm not going to be doing military press. I'm not going to be doing Arnold press. I'm going to just be hitting the lateral raises. Why? Because it hits the lateral side of the shoulder. It sounds super simple because it should be. If you want to grow a particular muscle group, you focus on that particular muscle group. That's going into the isolation portion there. But it goes hand in hand. The weight cannot be so heavy that your body's trying to recruit other muscles, and you have to do exercises that only isolate the muscle that you want to train. So what are some tricks that you can do to ensure that you're both properly training the right muscle, properly doing it at the right intensity, and triggering it to actually grow? Well, the first thing for making sure that you're hitting the right muscle group, do exercises that are going to hit that specific muscle group. Don't look for compound lifts. Don't look for Olympic level lifts. Keep it basic. Keep it very simple, and you'll get really good results. I don't do anything crazy for my shoulders. I don't do anything crazy for my calves. I just train them a lot. So when you are training them, to ensure that you're hitting the right level of intensity, here are a few tips. You want to stop 2 to 3 reps short of failure. Like if you're moving the weight and you get to 8 and you stop, and it's like, I probably could have done 12 reps. It's like, why did you stop at 8? Go to 12. And then if you do the 12 and you're like, you know what? I think I got some more in me. And you do more and you're like, wow, I actually got to 16. And then it's like, you get to 17 and you're like, okay, put it down. I don't think I can do another one. That's fantastic. You just trained till failure. But let's say you know that you can only get to like 19 reps and you stop at 16. That's totally fine. If you stop like 2 to 3 reps short of actually getting to failure, that is perfectly fine. I don't want you to hurt yourself by getting to a point where you can't move the weight anymore and you drop it. You don't want to get injured. You just want to get gains. So stopping 2 to 3 short. Another thing, go low and slow. There you go. Go low and slow. What I mean by that is have proper form. Don't be like doing like little biceps like this. There is a time and place for doing partial reps, but not right now. You want to be doing full range of movement for that muscle. You want to be going slow, because if you're going fast, you build momentum, and theoretically it makes the weight lighter. So why grab a 30-pound dumbbell and swing it if when you're building the momentum it only weighs like 15 pounds? Go grab a 15-pound dumbbell. It doesn't matter. You might be feeling stupid, let's say, because it's like, I'm only lifting such light weight. I didn't care. I got guys next to me lifting literally twice as much as me, but they don't look twice as big. And it's like, what am I doing? I'm lifting slow and I'm going slow. And I'm also stopping 2 to 3 reps short. So a great rep range that you can do that can help to make sure that you're implementing all these things is go for 12 to 20 reps. It's like, Alec, that's very high reps. You're only going to build lean muscle. You're not going to be really putting on any size. And to that, I say you're absolutely wrong, because a lot of studies have been showing that you can do anything from 8, even up to 30 reps. And as long as you're 2 to 3 reps short of failure, and as long as you're doing proper form and you're moving the weight slowly, you can build muscle. The reason why is because the body builds muscle in response to a certain threshold being passed of intensity. Because a lot of times the reason why people will lift heavy is because you can think of this as different dials. So there's these different gauges that you can tweak in order to increase the level of intensity for the exercise. And not a lot of people know what the different levers are. They know that there's weight, increase the amount of weight. So they just keep dialing in this weight lever. They keep increasing the weight, but you're only as strong as your weakest link. That's why people get the shoulder injuries when they're doing chest day, because they're just so focused on, I got to lift big, but they don't realize that the different tendons, the ligaments, even just the muscles of the surrounding muscle groups aren't strong enough to support that weight. So yeah, you can increase the intensity by going higher in weight, or you can increase the intensity by doing more reps. You can increase the intensity by going more slowly. You can even increase the intensity by decreasing the rest time between the exercises. Those are things that you can do that can trigger the body to say like, hey, we got to build muscle. We got to get stronger. We got to get bigger, because we've passed this threshold of recognizing that like something's going on here, and we got to adapt and we got to improve. And yeah, there is a time and place to increase the weight. Let's say you're doing the reps and you get to like 20. Like, I don't think you necessarily need to go all the way up to 30 reps. It's just a lot of energy being used, I believe. But let's say you get to 20 reps and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do 5 more. And you get to 25, you're tapped and you're good. You can increase the weight a little bit. And it's like, oh, nice. All right, now I can only do like 18 reps with this weight. Fantastic. Keep doing that. Or let's say you're at 18 and you're like, yeah, like I can do 18 and I get like, that's kind of like the last rep I can do, but I don't want to spend all the time doing 18 reps. All right, increase the weight a little bit again. When you get to the 8 reps, 10 reps, especially 6 reps, that's when you are drastically increasing your risk of getting injured, because you can't do heavy weight for 12 reps, for 14 or 16 reps. You just can't. And with the weight being lighter, there's less stress on the joints. There's less strain on the tendons and the ligaments, and you're far less likely to hurt yourself, especially in this beginning phase. Even till today, I don't do anything less than 12 reps. In fact, I religiously stick to like 16 to 20 reps. And when you're following all these things, you're going to see that you're going to be building a really good amount of muscle. I've got some other resources that I'm going to be including in this as well. And read the document. It'll be pointing to other training videos, things that I have in there. And I'll be going a little bit more in depth with different pointers for how to know what weight to pick. Is it too heavy? Is it too light? And then what to do and how to recognize if the weight that you picked is too light and you can increase it. Because I kind of went over a little bit here, but in the document, I go a little bit more in depth. So there we have it. We talked about how you can use resistance training in the gym to build muscle, to burn more calories. I'll even have some example exercises that you can do in the document below. And be sure to click on the links for the different videos and stuff where I go a little bit more in depth of how you can leverage resistance training to build a really great physique for you. So thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. Tomorrow's going to be fun because tomorrow we're going to be wrapping everything together. Yeah. We went into all the different intricate little pieces, and tomorrow I'm just going to break it down. Super simple, super easy. Have a little checklist for you. That way you can go through and you can be like, all right, dun, 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 dun. These are the things that I'm implementing. So thank you so much for watching. Congratulations for getting to day 6, and I look forward to seeing you in day 7.